Today we're going to take a look at the Fender Aerodyne Jazz Bass. Let's take a listen. Where do we begin with the Fender Aerodyne? Well, straight out of the gate, it doesn't look like any other Fender on the market. It is a work of art, and I really commend Fender for just the ergonomics of this bass alone. I've said in previous videos I absolutely love the look of this bass, and I mean it, and I still do. I love the smoke chrome hardware, 20 medium jumbo frets with no inlays, and a synthetic bone nut. As a standard Fender bridge, which is okay, it's not the best, I'm sure it can be better, it's fine. It's a little bit uncomfortable if you rub up against it. A Stratocaster type input jack, which is quite nice and quite practical in the sense that your cable isn't hanging off the body of the bass and won't get in the way. I like that a lot. The pots are their own unique dome type things, which is great and I haven't seen before from Fender. The cream binding, which gives it that retro 70s feel from other jazz basses. And the very simple tone and volume controls. This thing is definitely just a pick up and play. You don't have to think about it. You plug it in and you go. The tuning keys are okay. Again, these are standard Fender tuning keys. I get a bit paranoid they're not in tune. I can live with them, but I don't like them. And a 4-bolt screwed on neck. So this thing isn't really about sustain, it's more about the combination of the wood and utilizing those to get your sound. Speaking of the wood, weighing in around 3 kilograms or 7 pounds, it is an absolute joy to play and very easy to maneuver, which I can appreciate. This bass is made of basswood, which is quite an unusual choice for Fender, as they usually use alder in their basses. Basswood, on the other hand, is inexpensive and easy to work with. The softness of this wood really helps to take the harshness out of any high-end frequencies. Due to the properties of this wood, it's very good at absorbing nasty high frequencies. Unfortunately, the flip side is also true. Because the wood is so soft and so light, it doesn't really resonate well with the low end. So what you're left with is when you take away the high end and take away the low end, is a very thick, pronounced mid-range. The combination of woods on this bass is really interesting, especially when you compare it to other Fender models. The brightness of the rosewood neck combined with the light snappy basswood body gives you tones you just don't hear on any other Fender bass, and that's one of its unique selling points. Now that can be a good thing when you want to be heard, but when you want to dip into a dynamic range and have some articulation or some definition on the low end, you're really going to suffer. Another thing I love about this bass is its jazz bass style neck. It's the same width, 1.5 inches. The back of the neck is satin urethane, so it glides so nice. It's really smooth and silky, and there's nothing to slow you down. Just the way these frets are so close together really helps you dial in and articulate a piece of music or a bass line or anything. And because of its mid-range sound, it's really easy to distinguish it from your reference music and really separate the two when you're practicing. So really love it for that, and it can be quite useful. Let's take a look at the electronics. Now, according to Fender, they have a standard Fender Precision pickup in the neck and a standard Jazz Bass pickup in the bridge. And now this is where we kind of run into problems. I find these pickups way too quiet. Even recording today, I had to crank up my amp just to get enough signal on this bass. I'm really disappointed with the way the Precision pickup works on its own, and it's not like any other Fender Precision bass that I've tried. Like I said regarding woods, the mid frequencies are very pronounced and bright. The pickup though, I would expect Precision bass pickups to be a bit rattly and boomy, slightly muddy and more of the lower end. But it seems the two frequencies are in tug of war and they just don't fit or don't work properly, and I don't like them. And I think that's where the Jazz Bass pickup comes into play. So when you pair them up, you do find something a bit more musically pleasing to the ear. The Jazz pickup on its own, it's okay, I like it, but it's missing. It's missing something, and it's missing that second pickup. That's why you have to play the two of them in tandem to get any worthwhile sound out of this thing. You can play it on its own, but it's going to be very weak and thin. The first knob is the volume control to the Precision pickup, the second knob is the volume to the Jazz pickup, and the last one is tone. While doing the demo just now, it really occurred to me I am digging into the bass to try and make it sound louder. And that's where I think I'm going wrong. I complain about this bass being too quiet. I think it's supposed to be quiet. You just do your thing, you play quietly and comfortably and let the amplifier do the heavy lifting. I really feel like the bass is stuck on one output level. And again, the amplifier will dictate your overall volume. There's no sensitivity in terms of how hard you play, which is something I kind of like. Unfortunately, I had to compare this bass to what I know, and that is active basses. Active basses give you the flexibility to play with dynamics on a bass. They're sensitive to how hard you hit the strings. That's how I play, and that's how I like it. This bass just has one consistent output, which will have its applications, no doubt. But for someone like me, I really need the bass to respond to the way I'm playing it. Whether I'm playing softly or loudly, I need to hear that feedback, and this bass just does not do that. So here's my verdict. I will be changing these pickups one day. I don't like the EQ curve on them, and the bass is too quiet and doesn't respond to the way that I play it. I think it has its applications. I really commend Fender for doing something different with such an iconic brand like their Jazz Bass. This is much better than a Jazz Bass in that sense. It looks like one, it's thinner, it's lighter. Look how thin this is. It's absolutely amazing. And I can play this thing all day long. So I love it. I absolutely love the way it looks, the way it feels, the way it plays. I don't like the sound, which is just a deal breaker. If it doesn't sound like the bass I want, it doesn't matter how well it plays. If you like the look of this bass, I would really suggest you go and play one. I can't recommend it outright. I really think you need to play and hear for yourself and really try it through your amplifier if you can. Overall, I love the way it looks, I love the way it plays, I enjoy the bass, but I really wish it sounded different. That'll do for the review today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. On the next bass review, I will be reviewing the Ibanez ATK305. So if you're new here and you want to see me review this bass, click the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you won't miss it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.